Hi, everyone. Sometimes it's really hard to know how artificial intelligence is going to affect our jobs, the jobs of our students, or what anything in the workforce might look like in the future. To help get our brains moving and thinking about how we might see artificial intelligence used in our fields beyond just generative AI writing things for us, Jobs for the Future provided this really helpful worksheet to the North Carolina Community College system, and it was shared with the intention that we would bring it back to our colleges to help our peers figure out how we could be using artificial intelligence in the future and to better prepare our students. I want to walk you through the worksheet and show you an example before you're asked to complete this worksheet yourself. As you can see, there's a couple of parts because we have part one here. What you're going to do first is think about an occupation that your program of study students would be in. For some of us at the college, that's really easy. If you're teaching automotive restoration, you know your students are going to be in the automotive restoration field. They could be a automotive technician, anything like that. So you'll be able to put that in. But then for some of us who may teach in something like the humanities, that might be a little bit more nebulous, more unsure, because we may not know where they're going to go after they finish their Associates of Arts. However, we can think about some of the standard types of students we see and the careers we hear a lot of our students think about. So don't get too bogged down in this idea of what the occupation is. You can be broad, you can be narrow, but just think about something you have heard a student say in your program study they want to do. Then it has you list any key task that occupation could have. It does suggest going somewhere like ONET if you're stuck, but it's just anything that these are something in this occupation someone has to know to do, or else they can't do that. The next, it has you think about, okay, what's the AI impact? And it uses this specific language of replace, displace, complement, augment, and elevate. And I'm going to show you more about that in a minute, but just know you're just going to put one of those words in this line. This last column is how important is it? Is it, yes, I need to be able to do this, but like it's not really important that this exact person does it? Or is it like, no, this is very important, humans have to do this? So you'll fill in this chart, and to help you fill in this chart, as I mentioned, when you scroll down, there's better detail about those different words I just mentioned. So for example, elevate would be 90% human-led, 10% machine-supported. And they give a little bit of description to help you decide, all the way up into replace, which would be 10% human-supported, 90% machine-led. There's some other ideas and help with the classification as well down here, but I did want you to see there are very detailed definitions and descriptions to help you fill out column B. So once you've taken some time to fill that out, you're then going to come to this framework. This is the second part, and this helps show where these skills fall, where these activities fall, and what we might need to do to think about it. So if you have something that is a very important task that they really have to be involved in, but artificial intelligence of some kind could replace it, you're going to list it here. So you've got your importance from very important to not important, vertically, and then your horizontal axis is the different levels associated with how AI is going to work. So you're going to just take this information and copy and paste. And I promise I'm going to show you an example. I just want to explain it first. Finally, there's some reflection questions for you to fill out. You reflect as deep as you want. Hopefully you give us more than a couple of sentences because we want to engage and really think about what the future is going to look like, because the reality is artificial intelligence has been here for decades. This form of artificial intelligence, generative AI, is new to us, but it's been around for a while, and it's probably not going away completely. So we want to think about, okay, how could this impact or transform some of the things we're doing, or how do we need to lean into other ideas more? So you're going to reflect on these questions after you've filled out, based off your own occupation that you picked, that a student will see you fill this out. So what does this really look like? Great question. Glad you asked. This is the sample that a group of us that went from CCCC to the AI in North Carolina Community College System conference that we chose. So for this one, we chose an automotive technician. It was a table decision. We were like, okay, what's one that we see our students do? And automotive technician came up. So we think about, okay, what are really important skills or tasks that an automotive technician might need to be able to do in the real world once they're hired. They have to be able to check car diagnostics. They have to be able to do an oil change, handle customer service, hazardous waste disposal, like all that oil. Industry training, maybe specific to the brand of car. They might have to do road tests. There's going to be written communication. They have to be able to read manuals. So these are just some skills and tasks we thought were really important to our students who are becoming automotive technicians. Now, there could be way more. You can go beyond this list. You can fill in way more than that on your list. We just paused here for our time constraints. Then, as you can see, we listed the AI impact of each of them, and then how important this task is. As you can see, we felt most of them were important to very important. So if you find yourself in that area too, that's okay. You can see we had anything from replace, not present, but displace, pretty close. So high AI, artificial intelligence impact, all the way down to just elevating or augmenting. So like supporting, but really the human has to be there. So it's okay to also have a range there as well. I really do challenge you to think about how artificial intelligence can make an impact beyond just ChatGPT wrote this email for me, right? There's more to it than that. So once we had that, we then filled in our chart. So you can see, again, the bottom for us was empty because we felt all these were important or very important. But displace, hazardous waste, and road test, and then complement fell under oil change. But then our car diagnostics, customer service, we felt were in this area, a very important, but augmenting and elevating. We had industry training, written communication, reading manuals. The reason we have you then make this visual chart is you can see there's a description that says, okay, these tasks or skills may significantly reshape an occupation. How many skills are under this category? How does this impact the longevity of our learning path? If there's not many, how do you prepare? So these are relatively future-proof in that, like, we need to think about for the future, how can we adapt? Because if we think about it, there could be artificial intelligence that helps with hazardous waste disposal, right? We might have some form of a robot that is there. They take it, they put it in the right container, and it moves on. Well, then at that point, what does the automotive technician need to know to do that job? Well, how to set up the robot, how to engage it, how to put in the directions. They're still going to be helping with actually doing the oil and opening the tank to like drain it out and stuff, but they're not having to handle the waste themselves. Road test, self-driving cars do exist, but we're not quite there, but maybe we're going to get to, for road tests at least, but maybe we'll get to where maybe they can do some kind of road test in the shop with some kind of machine. I don't know. But that's what it's asking you to think about. And so Capitalize asks you to think about how can they work in partnership with AI, what durable skills, a rebranding of soft skills, to leverage the best of human and AI collaboration. And each one of these has that description. Those descriptions are there to help you then think about your reflection of, okay, how does this impact how you might prepare learners for this occupation? Well, I still need to teach them how to do their road tests and how to handle hazardous waste, but maybe I keep up with like what's some new technology coming out that I could also prepare them for. Customer service. If they're in, we teach English 110, which is about workplace writing and communication. So in that class, like, okay, we need to teach them how to have good customer service and good communication, but how can we also teach them to use AI to help augment, elevate those things, maybe automate some of them, like automate reminders and things like that out to people. So the purpose of this JFF workforce framework isn't to say AI is coming and it's going to replace everything. As you can see, it's really not. I had nothing in this for automation, right? There's nowhere that like humans have been removed in this instance, but it's to help us think about how can it partner with our students in the workforce, and knowing that, how can we then better prepare our students for that workforce? So one of your assignments in this module is that you're going to download this document, choose an occupation that is fitting for your program of study or your advisee type, and just see what kind of skills do they need and do they do, and then how is AI going to impact that, and how important are those skills really for that job? And then reflect and see, okay, maybe where do we need to shift some things in the traditional curriculum to help prepare them for the future?